Alright, is this working? Yep. Alright guys, try to get in view here of the camera. Alright, Ziploc Bloody has done a list, Deadpoolzilla has done a list, The Monster from Hell, and a whole bunch of other people. Now, unfortunately I can't put an audio track to pictures, so I'm just going to name my list off as clearly and as punctually as I can. For my wish list of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I'm also going to try to put in alternate characters, characters that, if say those characters don't work on a list, these are characters that I would ultimately like to see as DLC as well. Kind of like a rough cut. Now, I'll start with the Capcom side since it's the most random of my actual top 4 characters out of the 8 that are left. Definitely got to start off with a character from Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, and I know it's cheap and they're probably not going to include him, but I'll put his name in the hat anyway. Frank West from Dead Rising. Now, why Frank West? Better yet, why not Frank West? In Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, you had him what? You had a parade of zombies run over opponents. He could put one of those little servo bot from Mega Man Legends hats on an opponent and beat the crap out of them. He could shoot like a bazooka or something like that. I mean, Frank West has a lot of very unique moves, and he's a character that I think would be not only unique to Marvel vs. Capcom, but I think he would be a very fun character to play as. My next one, they have Zero from Mega Man X. They've got Tron from Mega Man Legends, so I thought, well, you can't have a game without Mega Man, and then I thought, to represent the classic Mega Man, for those of us that played the old Nintendo, not Mega Man, not Dr. Wily, not any of those characters, I went with Mega Man's brother, Proto Man. Now, why Proto Man? He would have the same list as Mega Man. He had probably, to me, at least on the Nintendo, had the coolest intro music. And plus, he's got a shield, so his shield could be incorporated somehow into the combat. So it's okay, there's your 3 right there. And what's the 4th one? The 4th one's kind of out of left field, but I think he'd be an okay character considering the weaponry that it could wield and his moveset and stuff. The developers would try to find a way to work it. But Seminolsky, I believe it's pronounced Akachi, I probably just messed his last name up. But Seminolsky from Onimusha Warlords and Onimusha 3. Now, I originally thought of Silver Samurai for Marvel, but I thought, you know what? I'll go with Seminolsky because, number 1, he's a samurai, and number 2, anybody that's played the Onimusha games, they were okay. They were really cool for what they were. And I think that he'd be a very unique character to play as. Now, the Marvel side is a little bit more tamed. I'd go with everybody in the fact that I think Black Panther should be a playable character. Monster from Hell went with Moon Knight for his list. I respectfully say Taskmaster. I think Taskmaster would be a really unique character, but he'd be very hard to program, I think. Because basically all he is a supervillain who can mimic the physical qualities of a character, except for superhumans like the Hulk and Magneto. But he's got a sword, he's got a shield, he has Daredevil batons. I mean, I think that he would be a pretty interesting character to uniquely mimic at least a lot of the non-quote-unquote super-powered characters in Marvel vs. Capcom, or maybe they can do something over the top with him. So, Taskmaster is my second choice for Marvel. My third choice, since Monster chose Vision, I respectively choose Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. Is pretty much Captain America with a bow and arrow. So that You know, take that however you will. I think Hawkeye would be a pretty unique character, or he would be at least Captain America with a bow and arrow. And my fourth pick is definitely something interesting. At least to me it's interesting. But, because going through all the Marvel villains that I could actually think of, you know, I thought I need two heroes, I need two villains, and so I chose Hawkeye and Black Panther for the heroes. And then I chose Taskmaster, and my mind just went blank. I had the thought there for a second, just give me one moment here. Well, looks like this video is kind of screwed. No, I kid. No, Taskmaster was one of them, and the second villain was really kind of difficult to choose because there's many different supervillains to really honestly choose from. But I think in terms of an old favorite for the Marvel side, I'm gonna go, even though I don't like his character very much, a lot of fans love him. Nah. I'm gonna go with Blackheart. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I think Blackheart should be a playable character. Even though I don't like him and I don't use him, I do think that, you know, if you're gonna bring back a few old favorites, you know, bring back Blackheart and Shimagoreth and all these other characters as like DLC or just a playable character, but Blackheart I will put down as DLC, but never say never. I could be wrong. So there you have it. For the Marvel side, it's Hawkeye, Black Panther, Blackheart, and Taskmaster. For the Capcom side, it's Seminolsky, Proto Man, Frank West. I'm losing track of my mind here. Okay, Seminolsky, Proto Man, Frank West, and Captain Commando. I'm not in my right mind today. And Captain Commando. Now, in terms of who do I want to see as like future DLC or just like alternate characters, well, it's more towards the Marvel side. I think for the Marvel side they can go with the three femme fatales, you know, Black Widow, Spider-Woman, or Miss Marvel. Okay, that's fine, that's cool. For, even though it's highly unlikely, Crimson Dynamo. Crimson Dynamo would be a really cool and unique villain. It'd be very difficult to design, but the Mandarin could be another alternate character. Or they could add War Machine. Even though he's very similar to Iron Man, they could find unique ways to make War Machine kind of unique.